It seems like everyone and their mom is moving to South Florida. I mean, obviously everyone wants to move to paradise and enjoy that beachfront lifestyle, whether they're a retiree, a young family, or even a young professional. Being able to live in South Florida, get to enjoy the year-round sunshine, go on a boat, go to the beach, and just, live life with a t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops, that's hard to beat. But why are they all doing it? Is the cost of living that much cheaper here in South Florida? And to be more specific, Fort Lauderdale? Honestly, I think it's going to surprise you. We talk to a lot of people that think that living here in Fort Lauderdale is significantly cheaper than living anywhere else in the United States. While I will agree there probably are a handful of markets here in the US that are definitely more expensive than Fort Lauderdale will surprise you when it comes to the cost of living. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the cost of living here in Fort Lauderdale from the perspective of a family of four. So you have the parents and 2 children. So we're going to take a look at the cost of housing, your utilities, taxes, insurance, which shocks a ton of people. It pretty much shocks almost every single person that we talk to. The cost of education, cost of transportation, and even the cost of things to do. But before we do that, all I ask is that you hit the like and subscribe button. It definitely helps us out, especially if you want to know everything there is to know about Fort Lauderdale and life here in South Florida. So let's start off with the big elephant in the room. Let's talk about the cost of housing here in Fort Lauderdale. So we'll start off with single family homes where a median sales price is $610,000. Meanwhile, our average was a little bit over $1 million, but I think that median price point is good because there's everything from like these gargantuan homes on the water to your smaller, more traditional starter homes. Now, when it comes to condos and townhomes, they are much more affordable with a median sales price of only $455,000. So a nice range within there, and you can get, pretty much the same thing with a condo or townhome that you can in a single family home, because a lot of these lower end price points are about the same square footage, for the same price in a townhome or condo. So you're looking at about 1,200 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms. So not too bad. Now, when it comes to your property taxes for a house here in South Florida, we're just going to focus on single family for the sake of example. So we're using that median sales price of $610,000. And if we use our tax calculator from the Broward County Property Appraiser website, it says our tax is going to be about $11,000 for this property. However, that's not the assessed value of this house. I will say your property taxes can probably be anywhere between $5,000 to upwards of $11,000. So that's definitely something that you have to take into account, because you will see a lot of homes for sale with super low property taxes, but they were homesteaded. So those people bought those houses in probably like the mid to late 90s. Property taxes like $2,000, $2,500, and they homesteaded it and they've lived there since. Now, when they go to sell it, that house does get reassessed and those property taxes will increase. Okay, but now let's talk about what's going on with some condos and townhomes. So yes, condos and townhomes can be a lot more affordable, but you will have higher HOA fees. So it's not uncommon to have, between a $200 a month HOA to upwards of $1,500 a month. And you're probably thinking, $1,500 a month? What the hell am I getting for that much money? They better be coming and serving me food and doing my laundry. Now look, I don't disagree with you on that front, but sometimes, if you're living on the beach or some of these luxury buildings, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. Hence, that's what you're paying for at the end of the day. But the real kicker behind a lot of this is the cost of insurance. So a lot of these HOA prices have gone up due to the rising cost of insurance, which we'll talk about on the single family side in a minute, because a lot of the condos and townhomes have that rolled into their HOA fee. Top of that, a lot of condos, anything over 3 stories, more than likely will have an assessment fee. Probably wondering, what in the world is an assessment fee? So I did make a video about everything's going on with condos. I'll link it up above here. But these assessments are pretty much going through all the buildings here in Fort Lauderdale and South Florida and making sure that they're going through their 40-year recertification to ensure that what happened in Surfside never happens again. So that's concrete restoration, redoing the balconies, redoing a lot of like the roofs, the windows, all the interior, pretty much updating all these buildings. A lot of them didn't have the reserves to take care of this, so they're charging the residents that assessment fee. Now, it is a large lump sum, not uncommon to be between $50,000 to upwards of maybe $110,000, $120,000, but they can break it up into payments. You can also negotiate to have the seller pay it if you are to buy one from someone, but you have to just think like, hey, I'm gonna have my HOA fee, I'm gonna have my mortgage, and I'm also most likely going to have an assessment fee as well. Now, when it comes to the insurance on the single family side of things, a lot of houses here in Fort Lauderdale are a little bit older, so they have older roofs and they have old windows. With that being said, insurance can be through the roof, especially if you're living on the water. It's not uncommon to have, a yearly insurance bill between $5,000 to upwards of $20,000, $25,000. Especially if you live on the water, you have to have flood insurance and all pretty much everything. So a lot of people are having to get new roofs, new impact windows and doors, and then they're also having to repipe a lot of their homes as well. Now I will say what we're seeing a lot of people do on the flip side of things is if you buy a house cash, you don't have to have home insurance at all. So that's a risk that you're running on your own, but some people are trying to avoid it at all costs. Now, when it comes to the maintenance on these homes, I will say if you're living on or near the water, obviously your maintenance costs are gonna be a little bit higher than those of homes west of 95. That salt air and that salt water does beat up a lot of the exterior, but you just have to stay on top of things. It's nothing that's out of control, but if you're only using it as a winter home or maybe just as a seasonal home for yourself and your family, you will want to have a maintenance person that's be on top of everything, especially, you know, the AC, make sure everything's running, get your coils cleaned, all those different things. Overall though, I will say if you're further off the water, your maintenance costs are about that of just normal housing anywhere. So you're just gonna have to take care of like your landscaping, the roof, windows, just like your normal day-to-day home maintenance. Now, when it comes to the cost of education, obviously you have the public schools around and the charter schools, which you don't have to pay for. They're already included as part of the taxes that you pay, but a lot of people do opt to go for a lot of the local private schools. So for the main private schools that we see a lot of people choose to send their children to are that of Pinecrest, American Heritage, Cardinal Gibbons, and even St. Thomas Aquinas. So what are each one of these looking like price point wise? So if we're looking at Pinecrest, probably the most expensive of all of them. For pre-K and kindergarten, you look at about $35,000 a year. First through fifth grade, about $37,000 a year. For middle school, about $41,000 a year. And then for high school, about $45,000 a year. Now, for American Heritage, the closest campus is that one in Plantation. There's also a campus in Delray as well. But for elementary school, so that's kindergarten through fifth grade, you're looking at about $43,000 a year. Middle school, about $45,000 a year. And then high school at about $49,000 a year. Now, for high school only, we have Cardinal Gibbons and American Heritage, and St. Thomas Aquinas. So for Gibbons, for just high school, you're looking at about $14,500. And then for St. Thomas, you're looking at about $15,570. And obviously not everyone sends their kids to private school. A lot of people might just do it for, you know, public school for elementary and middle school, then send their kids to private school for high school, but that is completely an option that's up to you. Now let's take a look at the food. So we're just gonna take a look at one of our normal restaurants here, and that's Flanagan's, which is a fan favorite, and obviously it's a sports bar, so it's a little bit skewed, but we're gonna start off with, we'll get some baby back ribs. Obviously you're gonna do a baked potato, load that thing up real quick, sour cream, butter, cheese, a little bit of bacon bits. Let's not include a salad just to make it easy, get some coleslaw. Okay, we'll add that to the order. Now let's try to find one other thing to get. As a parent, we'll grab a sandwich. Their cheesesteaks are really good. I like the chicken Philly. I had it blackened the other day. Actually really good. You'd be surprised. I know it's not a traditional cheesesteak, but it's honestly still really good. Now let's get her 2 kids meals. And honestly, their kids meals aren't that bad either. As you can see, I mean, everything's about $7. And I will say they do have some really good specials during the week as well, whether you're looking to grab a bite to eat or even a drink, or maybe just even grab some appetizers. So let's add these to the order real quick. Get the kids ribs as well. Yeah, let's get them with some sauce on the side. Baked potato. Yeah, let's load it up as well. They're free, whatever. We'll just roll through this. No beverage. Add to the order. So now let's take a look. As a family of 4, we just got each person a meal. What are we looking at price point wise? Only $57. Now when it comes to the cost of transportation, I will say that the cost of cars in like South Florida, like the Fort Lauderdale, Miami, West Palm area, if you're looking to buy a new or used car, I've found are a little bit more expensive than buying a car in, you know, maybe like Tampa, Orlando, even Georgia and Alabama. I will say, depending on what kind of car you're looking at, obviously, but for sake of example, like I've been looking at Raptors and F-150s, they're anywhere between $4,000 to $5,000 more expensive down here than they are in the Orlando market. So that's something to keep in mind. Now when it comes to the cost of fuel, currently, you know, if you're looking for just pure regular gasoline, looking at about $3.25 to $3.50. Cheapest gas station that I found in the Fort Lauderdale area has to be the gas station. I think it's a Chevron off of Federal and 17th Street, right there near the port. Consistently got some of the best prices, or obviously you can head to BJ's or Costco. Now, another thing to keep in mind with Fort Lauderdale and the South Florida area in general are the toll roads and the express lanes. So 95 obviously is free, but they do have the express lane, especially if you're going down to Miami a lot. You know, that could add up very quickly. Depending on the time of day you go, it could be anywhere from about 50 cents to upwards of a couple dollars. Same thing heading out on 595, heading east and west. Then when you take the turnpike, or not the turnpike, you also have 75 and the Sawgrass. That'll be a couple dollars here and there as well. So just budget for it. You know, we don't do the coins anymore. You get a little Sun Pass sticker and then they automatically bill you by the plate, which is really nice. Then if you're looking to take the train and get around, obviously we have Uber and different things, but a lot of people opt to actually take the Brightline because the Brightline connects you all the way from downtown Miami now all the way through Orlando, but if we're just looking at South Florida, just up to West Palm. So if you want to take it, the best price that I found one way per person for a family of 4 was $11.25. So that's actually not too bad. Then you don't have to drive, you don't have to worry about anything, and you can get around actually a lot quicker, and then you're not sitting in traffic. Now let's talk about things to do in like recreation activities. Obviously, probably the nicest thing about living here in Fort Lauderdale is there's a ton of free things to do. So you can go to the beach, you can go for a walk, bike ride. We have plenty of parks like that of George English Park, Bayview Park, Holiday Park. You can go play pickleball, you can go play basketball, you can go play football. There's a lot of different things you can go and do. You can go kayaking, you can go fishing, you can head to the pier, you can head up to Pompano, go to the Pompano Beach Pier and Fishing Village. Like there's a lot of different options when it comes to that. There's also a lot of different options when it comes to low cost too. So whether you want to go to museums, like they have the Museum of Discovery and Science, which is my personal favorite, even though I'm not a kid, but it's a lot of fun. You also have the Bonnet House, and you have Birch State Park. You can also rent a boat or a jet ski for the day. You can go on a fishing trip. And then obviously you get up from there and you can like increasingly spend more and more money, but there's plenty of free options to do. Then you can get upwards. You can go like on a weekend cruise. You can go on a helicopter tour. You can do all your touristy type things. You can get on the water taxi. But you know, the world's really your oyster when it comes to things to do. You can go to a sports game. Think about it. We have every single major pro sports team. You can get season tickets to pretty much all of them if you really wanted to, but like that's what I'm saying. You could go everywhere from like free to spending like thousands and thousands of dollars, which is really nice because there's something for everyone. So that's the cost of living here in Fort Lauderdale as a family of 4. So let me know in the comments, do you think Fort Lauderdale is still affordable, or do you think it's just become way too expensive for people and they just have to move out? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you or anyone you know are looking to buy, sell, or invest here in Fort Lauderdale or South Florida in general, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can call us, email us, text us, DM us, whatever's easiest for you, we got you.